going to use all that information, but the equal sign tells us what?
That is
That it's an equation. So today was an introductory lesson before they even learned about what an inequality was. It was just understanding the difference between an inequality and an equation. Where on the number line is the solution?
I learned how to use an inequality and in the right way.
An inequality is something you can use. It's like greater than and less than.
An inequality is a greater than and less than sign.
Everybody is either circling or putting a dot right on the 8. But they're used to solving a problem and getting an answer. So the fact that they're solving a problem and then getting an answer that represents more than one number sometimes is a concept that they're not quite understanding. What do you think? And so that's why by using the number line, is it okay if you have 16?
Yes.
As teachers, a lot of times when we teach inequalities, we teach, okay, here's how you put it on the number line, and here's where you put the arrow. I wanted them just to say, okay, let's circle all the solutions. And then when they understand that concept, we can go into more lessons like, okay, we can represent all these multiple solutions so we're not circling 100 numbers. We can just represent it by one line and one arrow.
When I have my hands on things, it makes me feel more like, oh, I really have to think about this because I have to touch this and learn and how to use this correctly.
Does it have to be an exact amount? I think when teaching inequalities, math teachers have to understand the importance of it and how it's going to spiral into future grade levels. And so because of that, they need a very strong foundation of what it is. But if you can start with the foundation and devote a whole lesson to what inequality is versus an equation and the difference in the solutions before you even get into solving it, then that foundation will help them when they start to transfer it into the solving. At most, she said it's the highest it's gonna go.
She gives us hands-on activities.
I want you to work with your partners.
She doesn't make it like hard. She makes us understand it.
And you're gonna highlight all of these numbers. When teaching middle schoolers, you know that you have just a small time and a little bit of their attention span. So I'm thinking like, okay, how long am I going to be in front of the room introducing the lesson? How long can I then segment it into a transition of they get to work together? So when I think about my lesson, I'm constantly thinking of the segments. Yeah, we could use an arrow so that it's not on one part of a lesson for too long where we do lose them. Now, if you think their number line is correct, what should we write? So if they're up out of their seats, switching, working with groups, that usually helps their focus.
Working in groups is probably like my favorite thing to do because when I work in groups, I learn a little bit more about it.
So let's switch. You go to that group, you go to that group, you go to that group. If we get in this rut as teachers and we just keep doing things that we've done every single year, that we're not fully reaching the capacity of the students that we have today. They're used to a faster pace. So I feel like our lessons have to constantly evolve.
I just think she's like an amazing teacher.
If I was describing my teacher to my parents, I would describe her awesome.
So if somebody gives you an inequality, can you represent that on a number line? Seeing that progression of them being able to grow where they first came in is the most rewarding thing that I feel as a teacher. It just makes me feel that I can help them achieve something that they thought was impossible.